Look what I did. I drew a diagram. What's the normal opening? Oh, greetings, programs. It's Drunken Dragons here with another great episode. I hope it's great. It might be. It's Saturday morning. Who knows what's going to happen? I just woke up. How to play D&D as best you can. Well, it's another fantastic and enthralling episode of Room Design. Okay, this one is a room we just finished last Friday. It was the first room of the night, called the Titan Door. So in the previous night, the characters had fallen through a hole in the ceiling up here and plopped way down further into the Underdark than they would prefer to be on the inside of this huge gate. So you can see the campfire over here. So this is where they camped the night before. So this is basically how the room played out. Is the characters began spreading out. Florian went over here. They started investigating. The skeleton army that they had avoided previously was pouring down a corridor out here and digging their way and trying to force this gate open. So there's all these skeletal fingers coming under the gate trying to lift it up. So instantly the characters sort of scattered to try to figure out what's going to happen, because this is literally like 10,000 skeletons, so there's no way to fight them. So Milo the wizard was investigating over here. Our druid was kind of waiting to see what should be done, getting into the fight. And then good old Erich, our rogue, sort of started figuring out this setup. So the way that the room works is the gate is on a ratchet mechanism. So if the skeletons can pry the gate up, it'll go click, 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 and then they start coming through 1d4 at a time. So if you've seen some of my other videos, a lot of my monsters just continuously spawn until the characters deactivate the spawner. That way I don't just have like 3 skeletons, they kill them and the fun's over. So the skeletons clicked the gate up and started forcing their way through, and Florian, being our tank, started just hacking them apart, and he's going, guys, I can't do this forever. So Erich, our rogue, came over here and he's making dex checks. He eventually got up the ladder and through this lever. The lever releases the ratchet mechanism and lets the gate slide down like that. So we actually had one skeleton that got caught in there and cut in half. Erich also found this heavy miner's rope up here. So the design of the room is to force the characters to figure out how to stem the flow of skeletons to get started, and then also how to proceed. So they're kind of not sure what's out here. It's a big dark space. So they started struggling, like, how are we going to stop this? Every time they dropped the gate, the skeletons, there's so many of them, would be on the other side and would force the gate upward like that. The skeletons were also had some kind of giant lever they were forming out of each other's bones, and they were getting ready to really throw the gate up and come rushing through. So the characters had to do something. So Milo comes running across here. He's getting up here eventually. Actually, I don't think he was there first. I think it was our druid. Snuck over here, and as she's sneaking along the wall, she kind of inadvertently put her hand against a wet, gelatinous substance, which was the first appearance in our campaign of a gelatinous cube. I'll probably do a video on this figure because it's pretty fun. As you can see, it's a hollow plastic cube, so you can actually engulf a character with this. It's pretty fun. But in our world, gelatinous cubes are the mucus of the Underdark, so they form in these little spaces. So she's over there and she's kind of like, oh guys, I think I see a way out. Over here, she could see this big gulf where the edge was, but then there was a path beyond a big break heading down here, basically the exit. Also, these giant timbers are laying around. We had some more corrosion. This chain was left over from some bygone era. So the players start making their way over here. Florian's chasing them over. Erich grabs the rope and in a stroke of genius, tied the rope from the lever down to the stone over here and permanently cut off the flow of skeletons, right? So he permanently released the ratchet mechanism. So they couldn't get in, but they were building some kind of battle ram. So everybody starts working their way over here. But then right as things seem like they're going well, the skeletons in the cavern above them start falling through the same cavity that the characters fell through. So every once in a while I'd go blunk, and just like with the gate, blunk, we roll 1d4 of how many of them plunk through. So the skeleton problem is not over. One great move, so they're all working their way over here. One great move was they kind of lured the gelatinous cube into attacking the skeletons as they're chasing them. So every once in a while the cube would kill a skeleton. And then it was like mucus attached to the rocks. It eventually made its strength check and broke free and started coming over here to feed. So I remember now. Our druid hung back like this. Everybody got to this edge and this was not a makeable jump. She said, "Ooh, I've got an idea." She grabbed the ladder. They set the ladder up like this and she went over that way.
With Florian.
With Florian too, sure. By the way, your whispers are funny on the video. Okay, so they used the ladder to get over the wall to sort of stay away from the cube. Eventually got the ladder over here. Choop, 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 choop. Plunked the ladder right there and went across one by one to escape the room. Meanwhile, skeletons are chasing them. The cube, I think, got to about here. It was chasing them. They're running across. Boop, 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 boop. And then when they made it across, they kicked the ladder into the void and the ladder just tumbled down into blackness. So it was a great room. It had a lot of excitement here. I think actually our druid dropped and almost died when the skeletons were pouring in. And the first room of the night, the players have a really acute sense of danger and of using their characters, and nobody's been drinking too much, so the game is really, really technically hot and precise, and it was awesome. Now I had a lot of things in mind here. One thing was to use the ladder to avoid the cube. Another was to use the cube to block the doorway and just continually eat skeletons. Another was I wanted the characters to use these planks as a little bridge and then to take them with them. So why would they take these planks, these giant like railroad timbers with them, you ask? Well, that all goes to the next video of room design, which is the Shattered Stair. So that'll be coming a few days after this one. So be sure to catch that and we'll see what happened to him after this. But I mean, here's all your basics that I always talk about in room design. Is I had my timer, which is my skeleton army. I had my sort of easy way out, or my fail-safe mechanism, which is my gelatinous cube, right? It seems like a super dangerous monster, but really the gelatinous cube is a very usable tool if you're not trapped in a corridor with it, because it's very slow and you can guide it around and it will attack anything. So it isn't friend to anybody, so you can always use a gelatinous cube as a giant damage-doing ally if you're careful. Now, if you get tangled up with it, yeah, you're dead meat. So you've got your timer, you've got your fail-safe, and then you've got at least sort of one figure me out, which was this lever system. In my mind, I thought they were going to have someone stay up here and man the lever until everybody was getting ready to leave the room, and then the last second one character would like make a mad dash. But instead they really outdid my idea by using the rope to tie the lever in the on position. Now the only bummer of that is they really needed this rope in the next two rooms. So sure, they did a great job, but then they're stuck with no rope. So mixed bag on that one. This was a room DC of 16, and then we started, I think the next room is also a 16, and the third room of the night was a room DC of 17. So our characters are getting up toward level 3 now, and like things are slightly escalating, and it's getting more interesting. Even to be able to survive a gelatinous cube is pretty impressive. So that's about it. That's room design for the Titan door. Room number 1 of episode 3 of our Underdark campaign. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some ideas here that you can use in your campaign. Strength, honor, and room design. All right, peace.